Hi there. Heard you were coming today. A lot of great people just like you have shown up for their very first day at Combined. Probably not sure quite what to expect. I mean, here you are at a brand new place, starting a totally new experience, wondering about a lot of things, that's for sure. Well, it's pretty much the same for all of us here at Combined. We don't know that much about you or what your potential is. One thing we do know is we hire motivated individuals who show that they have a positive outlook on life. As you'll see, this company was founded on some very positive principles. And there's another thing we know, the company. We know a lot about this company of ours. Believe me, there's nothing like it anywhere else. Combined has experienced phenomenal success since we started selling insurance in the early part of this century. I think phenomenal is the right word, and so is the word success. In fact, success probably explains this company's history more accurately than any other word in the dictionary. Seems like only a little while ago. The whole thing started with $100 in capital. Actually, it's been over 3/4 of a century. But that $100 has grown to billions of dollars in resources. Today, Combined is one of the foremost financial institutions in the world. You don't have to take my word for that. There's a company, the AM Best Company, that objectively rates all insurance companies, and they give Combined an A+. They're very as we're in the top 500 of all companies. Doesn't surprise me. We now have a sales force numbering in the thousands of industrious men and women selling and servicing millions of policyholders in all 50 states and stretching to 3 other continents. The policies that they sell in a year are counted in hundreds of millions of dollars. When you think about it, that's astronomical growth. And as far as we're concerned, it's only the beginning. Ask any of your managers here at Combined, and they'll tell you this company's on the verge of even more rapid expansion, and that's going to lead to even greater success. Yep, the Combined story is a story of success. We're glad that you want to be a part of the success. Well, now you know a little about where we are today. But I think it might be a good idea if we told you a little bit about how we got here. It all started with one man and his ideas. Our company's founder, W. Clement Stone. He learned a mighty important lesson at a very early age, a lesson which stayed with him throughout his business career. He taught it to others, and today it is one of the guiding precepts of this great company. We call it persistence. It is the idea of not giving up, of refusing to take no for an answer, of going back again and again, attempting to make the sale. This boy, whose father died when he was only 2 years old, began earning money at a very early age. He recalls how he turned a disadvantage into an advantage.
I was 6 years old and scared. Selling newspapers on Chicago's tough South Side wasn't easy, especially with the older kids taking over the busy corners, yelling louder and threatening me with clenched fists. The memory of those dim days is still with me. Halley's restaurant was near the corner where I tried to work, and it gave me an idea. It was a busy and prosperous place that presented a frightening aspect to a child of 6. I was nervous, but I walked in hurriedly and made a lucky sale at the first table. Then diners at the second and third table bought papers too. When I started for the fourth, however, Mr. Helly pushed me out the front door. But I had sold 3 papers, so when Mr. Helly wasn't looking, I walked back in and called at the fourth table. Apparently, the jovial customer liked my gumption. He paid for the paper, gave me an extra dime before Mr. Helly pushed me out once again.
Get out of here and stay out of here.
But I had already sold 4 papers and got a bonus dime besides. I walked into the restaurant and started selling again. There was a lot of laughter. The customers were enjoying the show. One whispered loudly, "Let him be," as Mr. Helly came toward me. About 5 minutes later, I'd sold all my papers. The next evening, I went back. Mr. Helly again ushered me out the front door. But when I walked right back in, he threw his hands in the air and exclaimed, "What's the use?" Later we became great friends, and I never had trouble selling papers there again.
A simple story, perhaps unimportant now, but it was a beginning. 3/4 of a century later, W. Clement Stone tells us he thinks of that little boy almost as though he were another person, some strange friend from long ago. And once he'd made his fortune and was head of a large insurance empire, he analyzed that boy's actions and concluded 3 things, which are the keys to his famous success system that never fails. The boy needed the money. The newspapers would be worthless to him if they were not sold. He couldn't even read them, and the few pennies he had borrowed to buy them would also be lost. To a 6-year-old, this catastrophe was enough to motivate him, to make him keep trying. Thus he had the necessary inspiration to action, that which motivates you because you want to. After his first success in selling 3 papers in a restaurant, he went back in, even though he knew he might be embarrassed and thrown out again. After 3 trips in and out, he had the necessary technique for selling papers in restaurants. Thus he gained the know-how. In other words, the particular techniques and skills that consistently get results for you when applied. Know-how becomes habit through actual repetitive experience. He knew what to say because he'd heard the older kids yelling out the headlines. All he had to do when he approached a prospective customer was to repeat in a softer voice what he had heard. Thus he possessed the requisite activity knowledge. That is, knowledge of the activity, service, product, methods, techniques, and skills with which you are particularly concerned. According to Mr. Stone, these 3 simple, easily understood concepts are the key to the success system that never fails. Therefore, the person who uses these 3 ingredients in combination in any specific activity cannot fail. Always a prolific reader of inspirational books. He began reading Horatio Alger books at the age of 12. Mr. Stone has long believed in self-help, that people should learn to teach themselves how to achieve success. At the age of 16, he dropped out of high school and began selling insurance for his mother. On his first day, he sold 2 policies. No big deal. But after all, that was 2 more than he'd ever sold before. The second day, he sold 4 policies, a 100% increase. On the third day, he sold 6, a 50% increase over the previous day, triple his first day's production. On the 4th day, he learned an important lesson. As he stood at the desk of a sales manager of a large real estate office, he used the introduction, "May I take a moment of your time?" The manager jumped to his feet, pounded his desk with his fist, and shouted, "Boy, as long as you live, never ask a man for his time. Take it." So, as Mr. Stone tells it, he took the manager's time and sold him and 26 of his salesmen that day. Well, that started him thinking. There must be a scientific way to sell many policies every day. There must be a method that will make 1 hour produce the work of many. Why not find a system for selling twice as much in half the time? He reasoned that success can be reduced to a formula, and failure can be reduced to a formula too. Apply the one, avoid the other. Think for yourself. So now you know the keys to the success system that never fails. Inspiration to action, know-how, and activity knowledge. At the age of 20, W. Clement Stone moved to Chicago, borrowed $100, a lot of money at that time, rented a desk space for $25 a month, and established an insurance agency under the name Combined Registry Company. Mr. Stone's fledgling company was based on a very simple idea discovered by an insurance man named Harry Gilbert, who'd made a trip to England back in 1895 and found that insurance companies were selling what they termed coupon contract accident policies. We call them pre-issue accident policies because they're written and delivered by the salesman at the actual time of sale. These were sold on a cold canvas basis, which, as you know, is making unannounced calls on persons you don't know and sell them something. As young Mr. Stone continued developing his formula for success, he got permission from Harry Gilbert to sell those coupon contract accident policies. He sold more and more policies each day, continually outdoing himself. Well, over a 9-day span, he sold an average of 72 policies a day. Then one day he sold 122 policies. He soon realized that he could multiply his success by teaching others how to sell. He immediately placed a simple 4-line ad for salesmen in the classified ad section of the Chicago Sunday Tribune. His ads were quite effective, for he not only heard from people in Chicago, but to his surprise and delight, he also received inquiries from downstate Illinois and the neighboring states of Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Not one to ever miss a good opportunity when faced with one, Mr. Stone got the idea to write Harry Gilbert. Remember, he's the originator of the coupon contract accident policy. And in the letter, he indicated that he had a prospective salesman in Wisconsin and another in Indiana. Through his letter, he obtained permission to hire applicants in these states. Armed with this permission, he immediately ran more ads for more salesmen in both states. Thus, Mr. Stone continued to build a sales organization through the mail. At the same time, he continued to sell policies himself. He established his own office, so instead of renting desk space from someone else, he now rented to others. You see, he always believed in learning a lesson from one experience that could be applied at a later time in a different situation. In this case, it was the concept of renting desk space to others to help him pay the rent. W. Clement Stone soon expanded his advertising to national magazines, so inquiries came from all over the country. The Combined Registry Company was flourishing. More ads, more salesmen, more business all over the United States. was time for W. Clement Stone to multiply himself again. This time, he obtained exclusive rights throughout the entire United States from the Commercial Casualty Insurance Company of Newark, New Jersey, to sell a special accident policy of his own design. He hired sales managers who were motivated to do their best through overrides on commissions. The more their salesmen sold, the more money the sales managers made. Although Mr. Stone's percentage of profit on each unit sale was reduced, he earned a larger net income from volume sales. Incidentally, the policy Mr. Stone designed was named the Little Giant to symbolize a lot of protection for a little cost. Earlier we had mentioned that Mr. Stone had dropped out of high school, but it should also be noted that shortly thereafter he attended night school at the Detroit College of Law and worked in the daytime. Later, as his national organization grew, he was in a position to once again return to school. First night school, then day school at the YMCA. After graduation, he entered Northwestern University, where he attended classes in the morning and then conducted his business in the afternoon. Oh, these were boom times, and everything seemed to be going well. Who could have guessed it was all about to end? With the crash of the stock market in 1929 and the ensuing 4-year period of the Great Depression, Mr. Stone's business had rough going. He was soon $28,000 in debt. The combined registry company survived. Not only did they survive, but Mr. Stone turned a disadvantage into an advantage. He increased the efficiency of the business by reducing his sales force from 1,000 to 135. Traveled around the country using his expertise to train those remaining. To his astonishment, his reduced sales force of 135 well-trained agents produced greater volume than the original 1,000 untrained salesmen. This new, smaller, well-trained team was selling and servicing policies based on a tested, proven success system, a valuable lesson in the importance of good training, which has remained an important part of company philosophy to this day. At this time, Mr. Stone read a book that was to leave an indelible impression on his thinking for the rest of his life. He was so impressed with Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, that he gave copies of it to all the members of his sales force. The idea in that book that interested Stone the most was Napoleon Hill's mastermind principle: 2 or more persons working together in harmony toward a common goal. Another concept that would become a permanent part of the philosophy of our company. There are other vital elements to the success system that, if followed, will help to open many opportunities for you. None is more useful than PMA, positive mental attitude. Once Mr. Stone developed his success system, he taught these principles to his sales representatives, and they worked wonders. By 1939, W. Clement Stone realized that his sales managers were becoming builders of miracle salesmen. They were making such phenomenal sales that the results frequently appeared to be unbelievable to those who hadn't learned the art of motivation. The intensity of Mr. Stone's desire to achieve great success drove him to seek more information on how to motivate, persuade, and sell. So he read self-help books. W. Clement Stone firmly believes that nothing is impossible.
What the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind of man can achieve for those who have a positive mental attitude.
What the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. This is Napoleon Hill's famous self-motivator, which so inspired our founder. Mr. Stone has always thought in large terms. You might say he has a tendency to always see the big picture. Listen.
All I want to do is change the world, that's all. Make it a better world for this and future generations.
This simple but profound statement tells us precisely what drives Mr. Stone to help make the world a better place in which to live. This is his main goal in life. Maybe that's why he was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. In addition to the kind of expansion we've been talking about, that is, hiring salespeople, training and promoting them, developing new policies and expanding territories, the company has grown in another way, through mergers and acquisitions. So stay with me for a brief but exciting glimpse of these mergers and acquisitions over the years. In 1922, W. Clement Stone moved to Chicago and established an insurance agency under the name Combined Registry Company. This is really the beginning of our company. 2 years later, the Cooperative Casualty Company of America merged with the Pennsylvania Casualty Company and assumed the latter's name. Another 3 years passed, and Mr. Stone began representing Commercial Casualty Company of Newark, New Jersey. The 1930s got off to a rousing start. During the first year, the company charter was amended to permit the transaction of auto insurance, after which control of the Federal Casualty Company of Reading, Pennsylvania, was acquired and all the business of that company reinsured. Now get ready, because activity in the 1940s is like a roller coaster ride. To start the decade, the fire company in Maryland was purchased and promptly merged with the Combined Mutual Casualty Company. Later, the American Casualty Company of Dallas became Combined American Insurance Company. In 1947, the company's charter was again amended, this time to permit changing the name of the company to Combined Insurance Company of America, and the writing of accident and health insurance only. That same year, Combined Insurance Company of America and Combined Mutual Casualty Company merged. Mr. Stone bought the charter of the Pennsylvania Casualty Company from Commercial Credit, merged it with Combined, and changed the place of residence from Pennsylvania to Illinois. In 1949, Combined American in Texas established a life department. And just before letting go of the 40s, a major expansion into New England, New York, New Jersey, and California through the acquisition of Boston Casualty Company, which operated in all those areas. The name was changed to Hearthstone Insurance Company of Massachusetts. If you think the 1940s was a busy time and the growth of Combined, listen to the activity of the 50s. Starting off the decade, Combined American Insurance Company of Dallas was acquired through a stock purchase. Another year later, and Combined stock was offered by the Stone family, with their holdings reduced to 65%. 1956 saw the beginning of our company's international expansion, as Combined Insurance Company of America was licensed to do business in Canada, except life insurance. That same year, the company was also admitted to sell insurance in Hawaii on an agency basis. Then in the final year of the decade, 1959, operations were extended to New South Wales on the continent of Australia. There were two very major developments during the 1960s. One was the continued expansion worldwide, starting southward with Puerto Rico and the Bahamas, then northeastward to Bermuda and across the Atlantic to Europe, with the addition of Britain and Northern Ireland, then back across the ocean and the continental United States to Alaska, and finally, just off the coast of South America to Trinidad. The second major development of the 60s was the introduction of life insurance to our line of products. In many ways, this is a story in itself, for the event was to have a most significant effect on the following decade of the 1970s. By 1971, in less than 5 years after our company began offering life insurance, Combined agents had sold over $1 billion worth of coverage, a unique achievement in so little time. It's an industry record never yet duplicated. That led to the formation of Combined Life Insurance Company of New York, one of the top 20 accident and health companies today. In 1973, Hearthstone Insurance Company of Massachusetts was merged into Combined Insurance Company of America. The best proof that expansion will continue in the future is indicated by our aggressive growth activities during the decade of the 80s. Let's look. In 1980, the holding company Combined International Corporation was formed, and the new company's stock was sold through the New York Stock Exchange under the code PMA, or Positive Mental Attitude. The next year, Combined International purchased Union Fidelity Life Insurance Company and the Chimney Valley Information Processing Incorporated. In 1982, a major merger was completed between Combined International and the Ryan Insurance Group, led by Patrick G. Ryan. And as you know, that's another story by itself. We'll look at the impact of that merger in a moment. Let's first continue with our chronology of growth through mergers and acquisitions. With the new dynamic management partnership of W. Clement Stone and Pat Ryan, growth was immediately accelerated, starting with the merger between Combined International and the renowned worldwide risk management organization of Rollins, Burdick, Hunter. We usually refer to them simply as RBH. In 1985, the company acquired, then immediately closed, Sten Ray Cole and Associates, which became Cole Booth Potter Incorporated. The same year, Combined International announced a joint venture with the Rubloff Company for the purpose of constructing a new corporate headquarters at 123 North Wacker Drive in Chicago. Another year and another major acquisition. This time, the oldest life insurance company in the world, Life Insurance Company of Virginia. During 1987, Rollins, Burdick, Hunter acquired several additional companies. Also in 1987, Combined International Corporation changed its name to Aon Corporation. The derivation of the word Aon is from the Gaelic language. It signifies oneness and unity. English words which help to capture the spirit of the cooperative relationship the principal operating companies enjoy with each other and with the parent company. An idea not unlike Napoleon Hill's mastermind principles of two or more persons working together in harmony toward a common goal. Except that in this case, we're talking about companies working together. Aon promptly acquired Miller, Mason, and Dickinson, a premier employee benefits consulting organization. Finally, to cap off the incredible growth of the 80s, the AAA Motor Club business was acquired to help build the profitability of our direct response operation. And already the 90s are off to a roaring start. The very first year of the new decade, we reinsured certain portions of Chrysler Life's auto credit insurance business and successfully completed the acquisition of the Credit Life Insurance Company. I guess by now you get the idea that the entire history of our company has been one of growth, always steady, sometimes accelerated. A moment ago, we mentioned one particular merger back in 1982 that shines above all the others. While the business under W. Clement Stone was growing from its humble beginnings into an insurance empire, another successful businessman, Patrick G. Ryan, was managing his own growing insurance business under the name Ryan Insurance Group. Like Mr. Stone, Pat Ryan had started one company on his own and built it into a dynamic national organization composed of several successful companies. Both men believed in training. Both were always searching for new and greater opportunities. The two men met, W. Clement Stone and Patrick G. Ryan, and the ultimate merger was achieved. The philosophies of the two expansion-minded business leaders and the accompanying strengths of their great companies would help to ensure success heading into the 21st century. It's much too soon to conclude the history of our company. There's still so much to come. I believe that when the story of Aon Corporation and its many successful subsidiary companies, like Combined, is finally told, the 21st century will have been our period of greatest growth. That may seem a little hard to comprehend right now. After all, the 20th century was all about growth. Yes, sir. From the most humble beginnings at the turn of the century to our present position as one of the leading financial companies in the world on the edge of the next century, along the way, we've been rewarded with a heritage rich in ideas and knowledge that will help us lead the way into the 21st century. That heritage is ours. It is one of astounding success, and it is the base upon which we shall build the future, a future which belongs mainly to you, men and women sitting here as part of the combined team. Some of you will be with us for quite a long time. Some of you will become very successful and very rich. But all, each and every one of you watching this program, have the same exact opportunity to be one of today's miracle salespeople. That's why this is a perfect moment for you to ask yourself this important question. Am I going to be one of those who succeeds or fails? The answer is not one that I can provide for you. Neither can your trainers. It is a question which only you can answer for yourself. If you are one of those that answered positively that you're going to be one of those who succeeds, I can tell you one thing for sure. There are many wonderful rewards ahead for you in terms of money, position, prestige, job satisfaction, quality of life, and resulting happiness. So welcome to your first day. We're proud to have you with us, and may you achieve greatness in your career with Combined Insurance Company.